Report.
So we'll have a record, even if it's not being posted to the website. In other words, streaming. I'll just post this material after the meeting.
Sounds good. Mayor Pro-tem Howe, Manager Weir, Council. For the fire department, for the month of May, we had 30 calls for service. 26 of those were medical calls, 4 fire-related calls, and 6 of those calls were to Eagle Nest. And at least 4 incidents where we had simultaneous calls and had to have both ambulances out at the same time. In regards to our new ambulance, it is actually going to the factory this month. So we're hoping that it'll be completed by November, December at the latest. This is an ambulance that we ordered over 2 years ago. We're working with the DFA firefighter recruitment grant, working with Rocky Lira to get that submitted for positions. They actually announced today that they extended the deadline from June 15th to June 28th. I guess to give more services and opportunities to submit for the application. Our wildland team just returned from the Bluetooth fire down in Ruidoso, Lincoln County. No injuries were reported. They did a great job by the incident management staff, and we're very proud of them. And lastly, the fire chief position has been posted, closes on Friday, and we will set up interviews for next week. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you, Chief. All right, next we will have Public Works, Solid Waste, Water, Streets. Kurt Epler, please.
Good evening, Mayor Pro-tem Howe, Manager Weir, Councilman. Update on what's been going on with roads. We have been hauling material to an area of Camino Real that was in desperate need for improvement. That has been ongoing with a few trucks the last couple of weeks. With the recent rains, we've pulled the reins back on that to get equipment out, to take advantage of the moisture in the roads, to do maintenance and repairs on the roads. And we did receive 1 bid in our request for bid for road-based materials for the next year. We had 1 bidder of Kite Construction. And they've committed to pricing for 2 of the materials listed, base course and 3" minus, plus 3 scenarios of trucking to truck the material directly to where it's going to be used. And at this time, they were the only ones that bid, and it was a very competitive price that we received. So moving forward, we're intending to do the larger projects by well, first of all, having the material hauled directly to the site, but I will also be putting together a request for proposal to be reviewed by council at the next council meeting for services to spread and compact the base course from contractors, allowing our personnel to continue with small projects and ongoing events. So expect to see that at the next council meeting.
Will the material be delivered belly dump, I assume, to the section road you're looking to spread it onto?
Yes, yes. On the larger projects, everything is accessible by belly dump. There are some of the smaller projects where tandem axle trucks will be used. Those will be small projects that we'll probably be doing entirely on our own. On the larger projects, it makes sense to me to provide help in the form of traffic control, simply because that's something that I would want to definitely have direct supervision over. And it is something that is challenging for most contractors due to, personnel. We have the people that are trained to do it and have done it. So, the other component of it is that I would want to take care of dust control on the haul route. On site, watering for compaction purposes or dust control, that would be the contractor's responsibility. Some of the haul routes, we haul, go over a few miles of road before the material gets to its destination, so we want to take all measures to control dust. in doing that.
Kurt, do you know how many vendors that RFP for gravel went to?
We posted it, publicized it in the Taos News
Okay.
and reached out to a couple to let them know that it was coming. That was the only one that did.
Okay.
And it's my understanding that the vendor that has been used in the past has not crushed material and does not intend to crush material this summer. Our CS Ranch Valley Road project, for instance, had bid the project and spec the material from the Eagle Nest pit. It was not available, so they utilized the same material.
Well, I will say I've noticed an improvement in the roads.
Thank you, sir. The guys are doing a wonderful job, and I'll repeat myself, say we're just getting started. Thank you for approving more dollars moving forward to continue to do good things.
Thank you.
And water department, we have a fair number of water leaks we're trying to contend with. Some have been ongoing for quite some time. Some are more than others. Some are very difficult to locate because where the water's coming up isn't necessarily where the leak is. We've been contending with one for going on 3 weeks now. We're having a very difficult time finding it. And it's a significant amount that through the spring impacted a couple of houses in regards to water reaching their foundations. We do have the water diverted where it's no longer impacting those houses. And we're still working towards getting that leak resolved, plus trying to manage service calls at the same time and continue moving forward with meter installations. I'd like to commend the field crew for the water department. They've been doing an excellent job. We have 2 new hires that just started. And one of them very talented equipment operator. And they're really working hard trying to resolve some of these situations. They're very challenging.
I have a water question for you. It's my understanding some of the lines we have are old enough that they're not marked with indicator tape. Some are, some aren't. It's kind of a crapshoot depending on the age. Does the village have the locator for taped lines, or do we have to outsource that?
Well, we do not have a line locator. This is a purchase I fully intend to use. I've used one myself in the past. I considered it one of the best investments I ever made in the excavation business. I've checked with one local vendor, the one I bought mine from, and at the start of the new fiscal year, we'll be purchasing one. But to answer your question in regards to location tape, anything prior to built prior to the mid-90s has nothing. Okay, location tape was used probably to the mid-2000s, and it's since gone to a tracer wire that's located at the elevation of the pipe. Way more accurate and less susceptible to tearing than the tape. It's very, very limited. I don't think we have an area right now that has locate wire in place. There's some that do have tape, but a lot of the tape is not intact.
Any other questions for Kurt? Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you.
Julie would like to speak.
He's recording, so okay, they're not gonna watch it. Good evening, gentlemen. I just have a real quick notice for y'all. We're getting some money.
Well, you can speak anytime.
Wow.
Anyone with a check gets to talk.
So the solid waste department and the grants department have applied for the RAID grant, which is reduction in illegal dumping grant. Last year we applied for it, we did not receive funding. This year we received total funding of $40,000. These funds are gonna go for, cardboard recycled trailers, specially designed cardboard recycled trailers designed to keep, cardboard clean so it can be recycled and accepted. Our trailers now, you get trash thrown in there and weather and they don't get accepted. So just let you know, we received $40,000 in the RAID grant. There is a requirement for, training on the June 27th with our finance director, myself, and, my solid waste supervisor, Ben Goldie. So we will be attending that and receiving these funds and getting the trailers. And I'll stand for any questions if you have.
Will this replace all of the other cardboard trailers or?
So buy about 3 or 4 trailers.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Solid Waste Department's been doing a good job. If we could just get a few of the public members to help us out. I was over here in recycling yesterday and there was about 100 crows that had been attracted because of the bags that people had left out on the ground, so. We keep trying, right? Any committee reports? Any old business? Okay. New business, item A, can I get a motion for discussion action, resolution 2024-29, update per diem and mileage rates?
I make a motion for discussion action resolution 2024-29, update per diem and mileage rates.
A second, please.
Second.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
I'm sorry,
I'm sorry.
Mayor Pro-tem, I have to do a roll call vote.
Okay.
Any discussion on this or is this or coming up to the state standards?
Yeah, so, if he called for a vote, then we have to take a vote.
There's been a motion and a second to update the per diem and mileage rates.
So then I was gonna call for discussion at that point.
Yeah, I think.
No, if you don't vote, I mean, you make a motion, then you have discussion, and then you take a vote at the end.
All right.
I
I'll
think
take a
we're
vote.
into discussion mode, so is there anything on this?
Okay, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, yeah, this is standard updates. We don't really have a lot of input in this. Unfortunately, I think the work rates are very low. I actually feel very bad for our staff that have to travel based on the state dictated rates for travel. $166 a night for hotel and meals is, I mean, is unreasonable, but we have no choice in the matter. Especially out of state. It's the same rate in state as out of state. But this is, we do have to pass this resolution in order to start utilizing these July 1 as is called for. If you see, the clerk handed out the memo from the Department of Finance in addition to the resolution that dictates these rates. One thing I would like to, and I'm looking into right now, I'd like to get I'm gonna get an opinion on, from legal counsel, is how do we do, actuals all the time? Because right now statutorily, they're required to get actuals approved at least 10 days prior to departure, which really means, you know, probably 2 weeks, because you have to have a meeting where you guys would have to vote to approve on a one-off basis, actual expenses. And, it's just, you know, I mean, to be honest, as a manager, I hate sending people to events where I know it's gonna cost them money to do the village's business. And that's exactly what these rates are entail.
So you're saying these per diem rates are hotel and food?
That's correct.
Just so you'll know, in-state is $166, Santa Fe is $231, and out-of-state's $166 for hotel and food for a day.
And then, also included in that, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, there is a rate, listed on here for meals if you have actuals. So even if you have actuals, your meals are limited to $59 a day. And included in that also is the rate for partial days or days without travel, which is the third group. So if you do actuals, your meals are maxed out. You get paid actual, but they're maxed out at $59 a day. And if you'll notice on note 2 in there, it says if you're doing actual, your hotel room is maxed out at $215 per night. And the challenge with actuals again is statutorily, they have to be done at least 10 days prior to departure. They have to be approved by the council. Often our staff don't have that much time to plan, so actuals aren't practical.
Mr. Manager, would you remind us what the mileage rate is?
It's the same as last year. They kept it, I think it's 88 cents. Not on here. It didn't change this year, whatever it was last year, it's the same. I want to say it's 88 cents, but that's off the top of my head.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Motion to approve resolution 2024-29. Mr. Howe,
Aye.
Mr. Humbert. Aye. Mr. Weeks,
Aye.
Mr. Crain,
Aye.
motion passed.
Can I get a motion for discussion action resolution 2024-31, various bars from carryover cash? Parks, rec, joint utilities, general admin, NMFA project PPRF 4961.
Make a motion for discussion and action, resolution 2024-31, various bars from carryover cash, parks, rec, joint utilities, general admin, NMFA project PPRF 4961.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, yeah, this is, I think y'all are familiar with what bars, these are changes to the budget that actually affect the bottom line for a fund. So, we're not required to bring, transfers from line to line within a fund, as long as it doesn't change the overall, expenditures for that fund. These are items that do change expenditures. They basically are because of either items that we have decided to try and take on this year that weren't in the budget from the prior administration, like the SCADA system, which is going to be very beneficial to our water wastewater department. And then some of these are items that like the non-employee insurance fees and cell phone expenses. It's really the insurance fees that have gone up substantially from the self-insurers fund over prior years. And you know, the other expenses, you should expect to see more of these at the end of June or probably the first meeting in July, because we do have to have these approved by the council and submitted to DFA with our quarterly report, which is due at the end of July.
Any questions?
The last one, the NMFA project, is that the remodel?
That is a remodel. So, the remodel, which I was gonna tell you in my, the remodel begins next week. We've had this money since 2019, sitting in an NMFA bank account. And, it was not budgeted for that in this year to start the remodel. The money's just been sitting there. It hasn't been part of the budget, I don't believe, for, last 3 to 4 years. And I just had to do a bar to bar it into the budget because it wasn't accounted for previously.
Mr. Manager, is this the same money that we were trying to understand if we had just had to commit or if we had it spent by the end of June?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, this is that very same money, and, at DFA right now, they're saying, they're holding the line saying we have to spend it by July 12th or lose it. And, you know, I've been trying to petition them to see if we can get a little bit of grace. And, the only reply, the most positive reply I've gotten is we'll see. So my goal is, and I have the vendor that's doing the project here today, they are starting next week. They feel that they can get it done because they've lined up a large crew. They can get it done by the 12th. They knew that when they took the job on. It is gonna be quite extensive beyond moving of walls and inside the building, we're getting a new roof. We're getting, the front deck is gonna be poured in cement instead of wood. We're gonna have the entire building stuccoed. And we're gonna have broken windows replaced and a few doors that don't make sense, filled in. And then all of our, exit doors will become ADA compliant, which they aren't now. And, and to be honest, we're doing all that. And we still have about $100,000 more to spend. That we're gonna try and see what we can do for this hole up in the parking lot with that money.
Okay.
But that's a totally separate project.
Okay.
Will we have to move the chamber for any work sessions in the next couple of weeks as they're inside this room, or is that?
They won't be inside this room. They're really not doing much inside this room other than making this look better. I mean, this is a facade. It doesn't, well, this whole does, but those items up there, they look bad, but they really aren't supporting anything. They're not supporting weight. But they're gonna make that look better. And other than that, if we have time, we'll recarpet this room and that'll be about the extent in this room. Most of this project is taking, we have a lot of open space that is really unusable. It's like super wide hallways in some places. And we're converting that unusable space or impractical space into usable offices.
Any other questions?
Motion to approve resolution 2024-31. Mr. Howe,
Aye.
Mr. Humbert. Aye. Mr. Weeks.
Aye.
Mr. Crain.
Aye.
Pass.
Can I get a motion for discussion action amended and restated addendum for water meter project?
Make a motion for item C, discussion action amended restated addendum for water meter project.
I'll second.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, y'all have already approved this project previously. We did have, one discovery in the process of, initiating the project, and that is that the cans that our water meters fit in are not normal because of our high altitude and the depth of our freeze. They're actually quite a bit larger than a standard can. The can is the casing that the meters go in. And, once they came out and evaluated that, and we do have Brian, right? Brian? Correct. Brian from Resource Wise is here to answer questions. If we need to, we can call Ryan Mast from Sustainability Partners. But, we are asking to increase the price. And it is strictly related to the fact that the cans that we have to use an amplifier are substantially more expensive than a standard can that you would see in, Los Alamos or anywhere else at a lower altitude.
So I have a question. It looks like I have a quote here for 297 of these. That's not all of the cans.
No, because not all cans need to be replaced.
Got it. So it's just the ones that need to be replaced. So we're upping the quality of the previously planned for cans that were part of the package.
That's correct.
Okay.
So the cans that need to be replaced were part of the original one.
Right.
It's just that, again, these cans are much deeper. They 6 foot, 6 foot cans instead of 3 foot cans or something like that.
So it's only about we had planned for about 10% of the can roughly.
That's
to be
what we're-
replaced.
That's right.
Mr. Manager, what are we looking at for the start date on this?
Brian, do you have I
I
mean,
don't have a definitive answer on that. I'll have to reflect to Ryan for the notice to proceed.
so I will tell you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, that Ryan was ready to pull the trigger and the estimated start week was gonna be this week. Until they told me about the pricing change, and I said I have to take it back to council. That was 2 weeks ago, so maybe in 2 weeks it'll start.
These rarer cans, are they gonna slow up your progress? Are these harder to get than the others? They're just more expensive
Yeah.
and higher spec?
More for insulating properties, more specific to, you know, the problems that we'll encounter, freezing temperatures and things like that around here.
Any more discussion?
So to approve on item C, the amended and restated agenda. Mr. Howe,
Aye.
Mr. Humbert. Aye. Mr. Weeks,
Aye.
Mr. Crain,
Aye.
pass.
Can I get a motion for item D, discussion/action, CFP Affordable Housing Grant?
Make a motion for discussion, action, CFP affordable housing.
I'll second. All right.
Well, Mayor Pro-tem Howe, Manager Mayor, and Mayor and Councilman. We have a notice of funding available to help us with affordable housing, workforce housing, fear and fire due to the 2022 fires that happened here in several counties. County of Colfax, Lincoln, Mora, Sanibel, San Miguel, Valencia, and Taos. And so I guess this here is a request to approve for us to apply for this grant. This grant is $2.7 million. It's due on 6/22 this month, the 22nd of this month. The reason for that is to be presented at the Mortgage Finance Authority Board in August. Funding is expected in September. So can I answer any questions?
What can we use this money for specifically?
Well, the thought, Councilman Humbert is the thought is 2 projects here in the valley that are, I think, being discussed at this point. One of them is Pecos Plaza at the apartment complex. The thought is that $2 million with the 2.7 could purchase this project, purchase this apartment complex and do the repairs and make it suitable for residents. And give us 14 immediate residents for the low-income housing. The second project is a piece of land, maybe 5 to 10 acres, where we could provide 6 to 10 portable or not portable manufactured housings on each acre, and either have those available for sale for the buyers or for rent. 2 different projects there. Of course, this funding here would cover the project for the Pecos Plaza. For the other project, it would give us groundbreaking monies to be able to purchase the property, put utilities in there, maybe get some permitting, maybe even do a little bit of planning for the slabs.
This was discovered, so the Workforce Housing Committee's been working on a couple of different plans, and in talking to Santos Martinez, he first identified this money, and Rocky jumped on to say, hey, if there's money that the state is putting out there for workforce housing, we might as well go for it.
Is
So
there any match to this?
There's not.
And for the audience, CPF stands for Community Project Funding.
Thank you.
Any more discussion?
we will, part of this will need to be, and it's something I've talked to Manager Weir about, we will need to pass eventually the MFA Affordable Housing Ordinance that the county is also considering. the hope is that we can show that that is on schedule and would be done before such time as there'd be an award date.
Okay.
Here's a motion to approve the CFP Affordable Housing Grant. Mr. Howe,
Aye.
Mr. Humbert,
Aye.
Mr. Weeks,
Aye.
Mr. Crain,
Aye.
pass.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. At the beginning of this meeting, we had a member of our audience, member of our community to speak for the record. And that was not being recorded. Since she was speaking for the record, she would now like to repeat what she said to us now that we are recorded.
Yes, thank you. Misty, would you return to the podium, please?
Thank you. I think it's important for the community to know. My name is Misty and I'm married to Brian Carruth. Up until recently, he was the most senior full-time firefighter paramedic at the fire department. His name is listed at the end of the agenda today. What is interesting about this is that we've never noticed anyone else being listed on the agenda when their job is at jeopardy. I'm here today to defend my husband's reputation in the community. We moved here as a family in 2021. At that time, he had been a firefighter paramedic for 9 years at a large department in Texas. He is passionate about our community and the patients that he serves. We have no intentions of moving from Angel Fire. Never has he been reprimanded for anything, including patient care issues. In December, he received a raving review from Chief Bobbitt that stated many employees requested to work with him. Often, when we're out to dinner, people come up to thank him and have even treated us because he has saved their family member or them. He was promoted to lieutenant in January this year. He is being accused of sexual harassment for posting a comical note for his station partner to view. While he does admit he shouldn't have posted the note, it was all done in fun, which is typical in a stressful work environment such as fire or police. This note was not directed at anyone specifically in the department. The interesting thing is that the note was allowed to stay up for over 2 weeks, some of the time while my husband was out of town training. If it was so offensive, why wasn't it immediately taken down? Many other individuals in the department have done much worse than my husband and did not lose their livelihood. Most recently, a prior chief of the department was hired for a contract position. If you will recall, he had multiple grievances against him. There were actually 8 or 9 on record. Had a felony charge and was trespassed from 2 departments for sexual harassment of wildland personnel. You wonder why he could be hired back for much worse than my husband is being accused of, and I wonder the same thing. Under the current administration, there have been at least 6 experienced employees that have left the department, and some of them because of the way that my husband is being treated. How long is this village going to allow the administration to continue to put our public safety and village at risk? Thank you again.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, Council, thank you for your flexibility. You may continue with item E.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for discussion, action, mission statement adoption? Quote, the Village of Angel Fire is committed to the service of our community through a culture of teamwork, empathy, open communication, and positive goal setting. We prioritize the interest of the people we serve. Close quotes. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion for item E, discussion, action, mission statement adoption.
Second. I have a question. Is this replacing a previous mission statement or?
So, Mr. Manager, Councilman, Crain. So the reason I'm bringing this to you now, actually, I fully anticipate that the, comprehensive plan committee eventually will develop, a mission statement for the village. The reason I'm bringing this to you now is we have a few grants that are requesting this type of information. To the best of my knowledge, I don't know that we have an official statement, at least one not one that's been approved by this council. And so I'm bringing this so that we can have a council-approved mission statement to utilize and grant applications up until the point that the comprehensive plan committee develops new goals and statements, mission statement for the village.
I think, I guess, because you would need to amend the motion if we have one prior, right?
It's not a replacement, it's two that we know, we're not replacing one, we're creating one in the hopes the comprehensive plan will take the ball and run with it.
Not that I'm aware.
Any other discussion?
There is a motion to adopt our mission statement. Mr. Howe,
Aye.
Mr. Humbert, Mr. Weeks.
Aye.
Mr. Crain,
Aye.
pass.
I get a motion to move into executive session for NMSA 10-15-1H-2, limited personnel matters, Brian Carruth.
Make a motion to move into executive session for NMSA 10-15-1H-2, limited personnel matters, Brian Carruth.
I'll second.
Mr. Howe,
Aye.
Mr. Humbert, Mr. Weeks,
Aye.
Mr. Crane,
Aye.
you're in executive session.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to invite the fire chief into executive session.
Okay. All right, we're going into executive session. We'll return in a bit.
So it's supposed to be the mayor and the council or something. If the mayor requests the manager to go in, the manager can go in. He should not be going to every executive session. It's none of his business. But yes, they can call in jar, they can call it whoever.
Yeah.
Yep.
The last two games, so he needs to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good now, we know.
Let me show it another
It's
one.
played good ball.
It's just, I just really enjoy it. Monkey.
Yes. Weather and, well, two of the games are in schools, they're gonna come up with a much better. Yes.
Julie.
But yeah, we do that.
It is funny. I'm like. We're gonna just like, oh, darn much.
Legally allowed.
No, it's like,
Yeah, we lost four seniors, three of them were starters, three of them have. That's what I said.
and I said, they have to use it.
Hopefully it started here pretty soon. I think so, I'm gonna go ahead and.
Should have started.
Yeah.
We're ready. Yes, we, give us some thumbs up and demand, we're good times, so. We've got an area, you know, all logistic areas ready to go, have that native works, so on the deals. And get them stuff up here. And sit around this great. Take care.
Hmm.